Hi, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Hannah, and today we are going to be showing you how to make peish eggs. Now, the peish egg is an old Cumbrian tradition, and William Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy, and indeed his whole family, would have known about peish eggs in their childhood. Peish eggs are when you have an egg like this, and you decorate it and use coloured dyes, or traditionally onion skins, putting colour on the egg and creating beautiful patterns which you can then have as a decoration for Easter. Now, the peish egg also was not just a decoration but could be used as a plaything, and in the Wordsworth time the children would have been given peish eggs during the Easter season, and on Easter Monday they would have taken their beautiful peish eggs and played a game which is not unlike Conkers, in which you would hit your peish egg against your friends and see who's cracked first. Now, we're going to be boiling these as they would have done, so they've been hard boiled, there wouldn't have been too much mess, and after your egg had been cracked you could eat it up. We also know that they did something called peish egging, where you would take your egg to the top of a hill and then roll it down, and again the idea was to see who's cracked first and to have a lot of fun. And in a letter from Dora, Wordsworth's daughter, she writes to her friends about how funny it is to think of her father and her mother playing this along with her aunts, and to think of her father cracking her mother's pretty little eggs. So I think we'll begin our demonstration.
So here are two that we have wrapped up already and made earlier, so we can put these straight in the pot to get boiling, and they will boil while we tell you how to make these, and then hopefully by the time we're done these will be ready to take out. We've already got some onion skins in here, so hopefully that will help dye the water even more.
They would have traditionally used onion skins, brown onion skins, maybe red onion skins as well. You could also use spinach to dye the water green, anything that would give you a nice dye. Later on in the century, when they had commercial dyes, these were used as well to create much richer and darker colours. But the traditional way is to use the onion skins, so that's what we're doing today.
So here before us we have all the things you need to make your peish eggs, if you were going to make some. We have eggs, obviously. We have onion skins in which to wrap the eggs, and we have flowers and leaves from the garden to kind of put on the eggs to create a nice design, which obviously then when you take them off, once the egg has been dyed, it will have a nice design printed upon it.
If they weren't using the resist method with flowers to create patterns, they would also use hot wax, so they could put hot wax designs onto the egg before wrapping them, encasing them in the onion skins, and then you would have a design underneath. And often if they were using hot wax, they might write the child's name who was to receive the egg, or the date that the egg was going to be given on, using their hot wax. So, let's have a go.
So first things first, you need to dampen the egg so that the flowers or leaves will stick to it. So we've just got some water there, and Hannah's just put that on. So now we can choose some flowers or some leaves. Should we do one of these maybe? To put on. And hopefully it will kind of stay on and stick on. We could do something else as well. We might do a flat leaves are better because then they don't kind of curl away from the egg. So maybe we'll do one of these as well on the top. And maybe another on the bottom. I think this might be a strawberry leaf we've got here.
Growing wild in the garden. These are all things that we've just taken from the gardens around Town End, so things that William and Dorothy themselves might have used.
From the cottage itself, in fact, some of them. Okay, so now you've got your decorations on your egg, you then need to wrap it in your onion skin. So we've taken the bits that are roundest, so hopefully they will kind of work best. So we'll just put these on here, wrapping it all around so it's covered as much as possible by the onion skin. And then of course to hold it on, it's useful to have some string.
It's also really useful to have 2 people to do this part. Somebody to hold the egg and somebody to do the wrapping, which means you can have lots of fun doing it at home as a family or with your friends.
If you wanted to be a little bit inauthentic, you could get some muslin to help wrap up the egg, which will keep the onion skin on a little bit better. But we're doing it the proper old-fashioned way, with just onion skin and string.
This is definitely the fiddliest part of the whole operation, and I'm hoping that when Ellie lets go, no skin is about to start escaping from my tight string bands.
See, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now, again, we will put this in the pot to boil, and it's just like boiling the hard-boiled egg, so you can just leave them to boil for about 5 or 6 minutes, and hopefully by that time it will be ready.
And the great thing about the pêche is that you can eat it afterwards. It's like the original Easter egg, that you would have a real egg, a really beautifully decorated egg that would be wonderful for Easter celebrations, and then also for a snack on Easter Monday. Shall we do one more?
Okay, we'll do one more, show you again, maybe we'll do some flowers this time.
We've got here some small celandines, which actually happens to be William Wordsworth's favourite flower, and so it might be nice to have one of these.
Let's do one, absolutely. If we get a bit more water. So we've got the flower there, the stem going all the way around, and we have the leaves on the other side.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
And again with the string, plenty of string to keep it nice and tightly wrapped.
Let's pop this one inside as well. And while we're waiting for these to boil, we'll tell you a little bit about some pêche eggs that we have in the collection that date from a little bit later on in the 19th century when William had grandchildren. And so we'll head on over to the Jerwood Centre, our research centre, where we can show you the beautiful eggs that we have in our collection. So here we are in the upper rotunda of the Jerwood Centre, where I have come while Ellie continues to watch our carefully boiling eggs in the garden to show you some of the pêche eggs that we have in our collection. Now, the ones that we have here in front of me are incredibly fragile, hence the very careful packaging of them. And these ones are different to the eggs that we're making outside, in that these were designed to be kept, to be displayed. And the ones that we have here show an incredible level of artistry and skill. Now, these eggs in this box were made by the Wordsworth gardener, John Dickson. He joined them when they were at Rydal Mount in the late 1820s. And the eggs that we have in our collection were made in the 1870s for Wordsworth's grandchildren. We've got dates on some of them. As I mentioned earlier, often dates were added to the eggs for the particular year that they were made in. And these eggs are not dyed using natural dyes. These were made using really strong commercial dyes to create a great depth and range of colour. And then what James Dickson has done is to scratch out in incredibly careful detail images of birds, of butterflies, moths, ferns, plants, all sorts of things, incredibly realistically on these eggs. As a gardener, he spent much of his life out of doors and clearly had an incredible eye for the natural world. And so he has created beautiful artistic works here. And these, I'm sure, would have been kept and preserved by the children very much as a gift from him. So now I think those eggs boiling are just about done, so we'll head back outdoors and see what designs we have on our own.
So now that these eggs have been boiling for some time, we're just going to take 2 out to see how they're doing. They'll be quite hot, but we're going to hope we can unwrap the string and show you guys what they look like when they're done. Yeah, doesn't it? Nothing else for it. There we go. Okay.
So we'll let these cool down slightly in this nice breezy spring air.
Let's see now if we can take this string off, take the skin off, and see what we have. So here we go. It has dyed the egg. You can see the different colour of the eggs from before and after. And now if we take these things away, we'll see if we have any designs. Got a little bit of a crack, but you can see that one of the leaves has definitely left a nice design imprint onto this egg. Let's see what the other one is doing.
Yeah. I'm going to get some scissors. It's probably the easiest way to do this, especially if you've tied your string nice and tightly. So let's unwrap our beautiful egg and see if we might have got the imprint of a flower. And we have a rather beautiful design. So you can see where we've got the marbling effect of the onion skins and a little bit of that resist pattern from the plants. So we'll pop these in with some that we usefully made earlier, and you can see the different ways in which we've created marble patterns. You can see here we used I think this was an ivy leaf.
Yeah.
But the pattern of the ivy leaf here. We've got various leaf patterns. More of these lovely frondy plants as well in here.
So we've just unwrapped the eggs that we wrapped in front of you earlier, and we've put them along with our lovely collection of pêche eggs here. So they came out really nicely. You can see the celandine flower really well on this one, and the leaves there. And then on this one you can really clearly see the design of this leaf that we put on there. So they came out really well. And we've put them along with our other pêche eggs. Some of these we have rubbed with butter to kind of bring out a bit of shine in the egg. So that is what you can do with all of the eggs when you finish them. And you can definitely see how it works from this to this.
And you can
Just
have
this.
a beautiful centerpiece for your Easter table and enjoy eating them once Easter is over. Thanks so much for joining us today while we demonstrated how to make pêche eggs. We hope that you all have a lot of fun at home making them yourselves.